welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to be here. My last video I gave you guys a little explanation on why I've been away for a while, and yes, I'm back now and we're just going to continue from where we stopped. I hope you guys missed me. Yeah, I think you guys should be the one telling me welcome back. Actually, just a recap of what I've been talking about on this channel about coming to Canada through the permanent resident route. If you missed my other videos on the eligibility test, how to know if you're even eligible to come to Canada, how to start your permanent resident application, documents that you need, documents to bring, all those other documents. If you missed any of my videos, please just check through my videos. I actually did them sequentially, so step by step, so it will be easier for you guys to follow. But for today, we are talking about landing Canada. I think the last video I did was how to prepare yourself to come to Canada, businesses to learn if you are someone who is hands-on, jobs and other things that you should prepare. And if you need any certifications to get before coming to Canada, any businesses to learn before coming to Canada, I think that was the last video I did. If you missed that video too, please check the videos below. So for today, we're going to be talking about landing Canada, like the expectations. What do you expect once you come down from that plane? I don't see a lot of these videos because everyone just says come to Canada. Once you come to Canada, this is the next step to take when you come to Canada and all that. But landing Canada is another thing entirely, like the steps to take once, even from the plane. I was fortunate enough to talk to people that had already landed, and I asked them questions on what to expect once I come down from that plane. It's another feeling entirely. Like you are coming from a land where you were established and everything is working out for you, and you're coming to a land where you have to start all over again. First thing that came to my mind was, how would I be received? What do I expect? How is the country going to be like? Before I came, actually, I had to check some places because I was landing in Ontario. I had to check so many places, but it's different once you land here. So yeah, I'm going to be sharing with you what to expect immediately you land Canada, and that's why I'm titling this video Landing Canada. Yeah guys, so there are some documents that you need to bring along. Please bring along your tax clearance card if you have one, and also bring along your income. Like if you can write it down, or you have a pay stub, bring that along. This is because once you come to Canada for the first time, you can't file tax till you have stayed in Canada for a full tax year. Like you have stayed in Canada for 180 something days. That is when you are eligible to file tax. But if you're coming with your children, that doesn't prevent you to start receiving your CCB. CCB means child care benefits. So once you're coming with your kids and you land Canada, you can start receiving your child care benefits. However, there are some forms you need to fill. And in one of those forms, you have to write down your income that you have received in Nigeria for the past, I think, 3 years. I think what I did was 3 years. So for example, let's say for the past 3 years, or I'm asking for 2023, 2022, it has different exchange rates. You have to go look for 2022 exchange rates and write it down there. That is the only way they can calculate how much you'll be earning for CCB. That's for childcare benefits. You understand? I don't know if you guys get me, but I'm going to do a whole video of that later on. But right now, before you even board that plane, that is one of the documents you need to bring: your tax clearance card and your pay stub, or you don't need to submit your pay stub, but you need to write down on the form how much you've earned for the past 3 years. The next thing I would like to share or talk about is that please do not sign your COPR. Once IRCC ask for your passport comes back with a visa and a form. That form is what they call COPR. There's a place where you need to sign, but do not sign your COPR at home. You have to sign your COPR at point of entry in front of the immigration officer assessing your documents. Please, so many people have made that mistake because you wouldn't know. If you don't ask questions, you wouldn't know, and signed their COPR. I don't know what happened, but please, the way that passport just came, just put it like that. Do not touch it. You can just go, check it, admire it again, and be happy. But please do not sign anywhere on your COPR or anywhere on your passport till you are in front of an immigration officer that would request for that and ask you questions. Another one is that please try to get an Airbnb before landing Canada. If you're coming to Canada and you have friends or families that want to, receive you and keep you in their house, please accept it, as in just embrace it like that, because the amount you're going to spend for housing here is no joke. You understand? So if you have help, like someone is offering you that, like, okay, John, you can just come to stay with us for a while you settle, please just collect, just accept and say thank you. People that come here without friends or without family, try to get an Airbnb before coming. You don't want to land Canada and you're stranded. Yeah, so 3 things I've shared now: do not sign your COPR, try to get your Airbnb, or if you have friends, and please check with the friends a day before you land. Can I still come? It's not the one that you have told them like 3 months I'm coming and they not see you, and immediately at the airport you are now calling. Check with them. Can I still come? I'm on my way. If you land, before you land again, I'm coming. No, let them understand that you are still coming. I've heard some cases, but just to be sure with them, can I still come? You're just gonna stay for a while. It's not as if you're staying there for the whole year. Once you land, then you start looking for an apartment. The first one I spoke about was bring your tax clearance card. That is if you want to go to school. When I came, I needed that tax clearance card because I had not filed tax in Canada and I wanted to go to school. They needed to know how much, and they needed proof to know how much I earned. You understand? So either you bring your tax clearance card if you still want to study, but just bring it to be safe. Then you also need to bring your pay stub, or if you know it offhand, write it down somewhere. Once you come and you're filling your child care benefit form, you just put it there. This is how much I earned. This is how much I earned for this period to this period in Canadian dollars. So another document is that you should please write in a sheet of paper everything you're bringing to Canada, like your food stuff, what is in your bag. Just write it down. If you also have goods to follow, they call it goods to follow. This one is not coming with you, but it's coming after you, like you're shipping it down. As a new immigrant, permanent resident, you can bring your couch, you can bring your car, you can bring anything that you want to ship down, or anyhow you want to bring it. They call it goods to follow. You are allowed to bring it to Canada. There's just an entire process to that. You understand? So you have to write that goods to follow. You also have to write the ones that you're coming with, because once you get to the airport, they will ask you for it and you need to submit it. Make photocopies, for 2 photocopies, one for yourself and one for the officer that is going to ask you for that. So let us talk about landing Canada. Once you land Canada, as in once you're in that plane and they've told you that, oh, you have arrived YYZ airport. I don't know about others, but there's this feeling I had. I was so nervous. I was confused. Like I didn't know what to expect. Even leaving my country, I already had this, feeling of, oh, what to expect. There's some people that feel excited. They feel like they feel relieved. They feel happy. But for me, that was how I felt. So you really wouldn't know the kind of feeling that will hit you at that point. But it's just another feeling entirely. Once you're on the plane, they will give you a form. In that form, there are some things they'll ask you in that form, like how much you're bringing to Canada. If you're bringing 10,000 upwards, they'll ask you to declare it. There are so many other things on the form that you have to fill. Remember now, on the plane, you have a form. Remember, you also have your goods to follow form, and the other form that, has all the things, all the stuff that you have in your bag. Those 3 forms you will submit once you land. For me, they asked me for those forms. Other people, I don't know if they asked, but for me, they asked. If you're coming with children, keep your children close to you, like very close to you, because the airport is big. My dear, when I got there, I was like, what? Like, I'm not traveled that. That was my first time traveling outside my country. And I saw the airport, I was like, what? Like, where do I begin? It's not as if, anyone is directing you or go there or go here. Please ask questions. That was the only thing I did that, really didn't make sense, because I was just too nervous. I didn't know who to speak to. Ask questions if you know that you're not going, or if you feel you're not going to the right direction, because you also need to meet with an immigration officer with your passport. Meanwhile, on that passport, that's when you have submitted your passport for the visa stamping. Once your passport comes, it comes with the visa and COPR. Please do not sign on your COPR. Do not, that one thing, boldly written, do not sign on your COPR. Do not sign on anywhere on your passport. Your COPR is what you're going to be using, like it's a means of identification here. Do not sign on it before you land Canada. Once you get to the immigration officer, that's once you come down from the plane, and you've met with the people that is asking you for the goods to follow and all that. You are to meet an immigration officer. That immigration officer is going to check your passport and ask you a couple of questions. First off, keep your children close to you because you have their passports also with you. Listen carefully to what the immigration officer is saying. My dear, in my case, I told you I was nervous and all that. So I got there and the lady was asking questions I couldn't hear. I was just asking because they ask questions like security questions, like, okay, have you been rejected? Have you been a member of this, a member of that? If you're not listening carefully and you answer yes to any of those questions, I don't know what will happen, no, but for in my own case, I was listening, but I wasn't hearing. I don't know how to explain it. I was listening very carefully. Well, it was really rowdy that day. There were lots of people that were landing, and we had kids crying, some were playing, and all that. If you cannot hear, ask again. There's no issue. Nobody's going to ask you or talk to you rudely. Ask them, can you repeat that again, please? They would repeat it. For my own case, she repeated like 3 times. As in, I had to like say it again, let me hear. You understand? And she was so nice. And she was like, oh no, I know the airport is, rowdy today and kids everywhere. I said, yeah. But I knew deep down that I didn't just understand, they speak very fast. So I didn't just understand what she was saying. But please listen to what they would ask. They would also ask where you'll be staying and all that. Depending on the officer, there are different questions they're going to ask you. Me, I'm just telling you the one that, I was asked, where I was staying, who I was staying with, if I've got an Airbnb, and, all those kind of questions. Please listen carefully and answer correctly. Then the officer will now stamp the paper and ask you to sign. Do not sign on your COPR before leaving your country. Do not sign on your COPR before leaving your country. So the officer asks you those questions, and if he's satisfied or she's satisfied, then the officer stamps your COPR and you sign. And you now go to where your baggage is. So all these things that I've said will take about 1 hour. You understand? If not more than 1 hour. So you know how the bag is now. Once you go take your baggage, you know how it is where you stand and it rolls out. When I got there, I didn't see anything rolling. Like everything was on the floor. And the bag I used was a bag called Musbao. I don't know if you guys, people in Nigeria that relocate, I'm sure they know that Musbao bag because the bag is very light and it's sturdy. You understand? If you use that bag, you would have like your complete 23 kg without the bag adding any kg to what you already have. So some people use other bags and that are heavy. The main bag alone is already weighing like 2 kg, 3 kg. So I use that Musbao bag and it's black. On getting there, I just saw black bags everywhere. I was confused. I had my children, my child with me. I was like, what? Like, how do I identify? And that's where bags go missing. You see, some people will carry someone else's bag and all that. So please, before you leave, try and tie something. If it's, a material, something that, once you see it, you would know this is your bag. Some people even go as far as wrapping their bag in the airports. Like in Nigeria airport, they can wrap your bag with, there's this thing they used to wrap the bag and they put a tag on it. But please, my mom, when I was leaving, she made sure that she tied one Ankara to my bag. So when I said I knew that, but it was a long search because so many people were, landed that day. So I had to be looking, and there were lots of black bags, same bags. So I had to be looking till I saw my bag. So that would take about, 30 minutes or what, it depends on how much it is for you to find your bag. Then you get your cart and put your luggage in, everything you carried on your cart, and go to the arrival session. Now this part is where you're going to either meet with a family member or meet with anyone that's coming to pick you. For those that do not have anyone coming to pick them, I still offer that service. You guys want to see my face now. So for those that still want to come and they don't have anyone to pick them, just send me a message. That's one of the services that I offer here in Canada. And for those that have people to pick them, yes, they'll be happy to see you. If you don't have anyone, you don't want to see my face, you can as well just, get a taxi. And that is where, this other tip comes from. Make sure that you have dollars with you. So once you're landing now, you need to start, speaking in dollars. You need to start using dollars, spending dollars. No more naira. Do not bring naira with you. That naira has just gone to waste, except you want to just give someone that is going back to Nigeria. Yeah. So change all your money, and that's why even in my videos I said keep your POF in dollars. Sometimes I meet with an officer that would even ask you for proof of your POF. Do not spend your POF. Change it into dollars. Yeah, so that's it about this video. Let's just go over the information and documents and tips that I think you need to know while on the plane or before you land Canada. First one is come with your tax clearance card. Second is please come with your pay stub or write down somewhere the income you earned before coming to Canada, like the income you earned in your country before coming to Canada. The next one is do not sign on your COPR. Please do not sign anywhere on your COPR or your passport. The next one is for you to write your list of accompanying goods and your list of goods to follow. Make photocopies for you and the officer that's going to ask. Remember to fill the form that is going to be given to you on the plane. Then another tip is please when you're coming, try to change your money. If you had your POF in naira, try to change to US dollars, because once you land Canada, you would start spending money from the airports. Yeah, another tip about the POF is please do not touch your POF. There are cases where the immigration officer asks you for your POF at points of entry. The next tip is please your kids. If you're coming with kids, hold them tight, keep them close. You don't want to come to Canada and start looking for your children as they're landing. Keep them close. Those kids, they can move anyhow. Before you turn like this, they're gone. Please keep them tight. Keep them close to yourself. Next is once you get to your immigration officer and you've, given them your passport, please just listen carefully to what they have to say. Listen carefully. They'll ask you questions that you need to respond to. If you do not understand what they've said, you can tell them to please repeat the question again or talk slowly or something. They are very nice people. They are welcoming. This place very welcoming. They'll smile. So you smile at them. You need any help, any assistance, you can talk to any of the officers. You miss your way, you can talk to anybody, like any of the officers you see. Just ask them questions and they will direct you. So if you follow all the steps that I have just mentioned to you, I tell you, you should be out of the airport in like maybe 1 hour and a half. It wouldn't really take much of your time. So please just follow the steps and you would have a beautiful landing process. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy the content that I share and you want to join this community, please subscribe, click the like button and share. Please just share this video, because like I always say, you don't know who might need this video. If I had this video before I came to Canada, I'm sure that now that I've just been chilling and landing and but I was really nervous. That's why I picked out this content to share, so you guys know what to expect. It's not just coming to Canada and getting your stuff, get this, get that. Once you land Canada, as you're coming out from the plane, what do you expect? What are the steps that you need to take? Those videos or those contents are also extremely important here. Till next week, where we'll be talking about how to link and get your permanent residence card once you land. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. A little recap on our last video where we spoke about driver's license and how to get your driver's license as a permanent resident in Canada. If you missed that video, kindly click the link up there. In this video, we're going to be talking about bank accounts. Yeah, but before we begin, I got some questions on my previous videos asking what is the first document an immigrant should get once they land Canada. And for me, my answer is SIN, because that is the first thing I did. For example, you need your SIN for your bank account, you need your SIN for your health card, you need your SIN for your driver's license and all that. So SIN is the first thing I would advise any immigrant to get once you land Canada. And the second, of course, is bank account. Why I think bank account is necessary is because you would need that statement, from your bank account to get your health card. There's a video that I'll be posting about, getting your health card. You would need your first bank statement to get your health card. That bank statement has to be mailed to your house. And this is because, for those that, come to Canada, they have to stay with family and friends, and, you don't have proof of residence yet. You will need your bank statement sent to your mailbox, not your email, not an e-bank statement, a paper statement sent to your mailbox, for you to get your health card. But, that will be explained when I post the video for the health card. Another reason why you need to open a bank account after your SIN is because, of course, you have to put your money, like your proof of funds. You will need to change your proof of funds to Canadian dollars, and you don't want to change it and start carrying cash around. You have to put it in your bank account. So now, yes, as a new immigrant, once you get to Canada, we have different banks. We have CBIC, we have RBC, we have TD Bank, we have Scotia Bank, we have different banks, right? I would advise that as an immigrant, you visit all of them and check for their newcomers packages. All these banks, they all have packages for newcomers. So you check all of them, visit all the branches, like check all of them, compare the packages and choose which is right for you. For me, I chose RBC because they were willing to give me 2,000 credit limit on my credit card. And there's this charge that you have to pay monthly when you open an account here. As a newcomer, for me, when I chose RBC, I didn't have to, pay it. This is not a paid advert. First of all, I'm just, telling you what happened to me. But right now, this happened at the time I came. Right now, I think you guys should please go to, different banks and, ask for their newcomer packages. Compare these packages and see, which is better for you. Yeah, so like I said, once you open an account, as in you've decided to choose a bank, they would give you a debit card and a credit card. So when I came, I didn't really understand what the credit card was. And you know how it is where I come from. I always, refer back to where I come from. Nigeria, credit is like an issue. I'm like, what? Credit? No, I don't want credit. I don't want credit card. I actually don't want credit card. No, 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 I don't want credit card. Oh, my friends here and families, they were looking at me like, what is wrong with you? But in my own head, I just felt that, from my own understanding, I just felt, oh, credit card means you're owing. But yeah, literally, that is what it is. Like you're actually owing. But if you understand how it is, because you also have to build your credit history. I still have people that come and they say, oh, no, 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 I don't want credit card. I just want debit card. Like I want to use my debit card. So for the debit card, once you open an account, you have the check-ins and the savings. You understand? The check-ins over here is like your regular account. That is where you have to do transaction. Like if you want someone to send you money, the money comes directly to your check-ins. If you have any transactions you need to do, you're making those transactions through your check-ins account. You understand? While your savings account is just there, it's there for you to just put money and not touch. The only way you can still take out of it, you understand, it's not as if you're saving and you cannot touch it. You can touch it, but you can only move money from your savings to your check-ins account. That is if you want to use it. There was a time I did a transfer from my savings and I was charged for it. Because it's savings, right? Just leave the money there. If you must use it, you transfer it to your check-ins. However, in my own country, anything check, like I just felt that check-ins is like current account. That's how I felt when I came here. But the reverse is the case. Savings in my country is an account that you can do your daily transactions from. The current account is a place where you have to save, right? So back to the credit card, right? They would give you a credit card and a debit card. Once you use your debit card, they charge you directly from your check-ins account. So let's say you have $5,000 in your check-ins account, like in your bank account, and you buy something for $1,000. Once you use that debit card, they're taking it immediately off the 5,000 you have in your check-ins account. But if you use your credit card, the money is not going to be taken from your check-ins account. It's going to be in your credit card account. Like you are owing the bank $1,000. However, the bank will tell you that, out of that $1,000, you must not pay the $1,000. The bank will tell you that there's a minimum payment that you can make out of that $1,000. They might tell you it's $10, they might tell you it's $20, depending on the amount, you understand, that you have collected. I fell for it once. Like I started paying the minimum balance, and I didn't know that there was going to be an interest, on the remaining balance I haven't paid that will be carried over to the next month. Depends on how it best works for you. For me, what I did afterwards was, once I buy something on credit and it's like, for example, $1,000, you understand, for that month, once the bank statement, because your statement is sent to you every month, once the statement is sent to you that month, and you see that the amount you have to pay for that month is $1,000, they will even give you the date that you have to pay that $1,000. Once you miss that date, the amount will be transferred to the next month, and there will be an interest on it. So what I do is, once I see that amount, my statement comes out for the month, I pay half of the money, like 70% of the money, 13 days to the due date. And 3 days before the due date, I pay the rest. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you know that you do not have $1,000 to pay for your credit card, do not make purchases that is $1,000. I don't know if you get me, because that credit card, you wouldn't know, as in the way it is sweet, because you're not carrying cash. I mean, I don't carry cash here. So for example, they give you 2,000 credit limit. It doesn't mean that you have to use the 2,000, as in you have to use that 2,000 credit limit for the month. What they're trying to say is, they're giving you 2,000 credit limits, right? You can use part of it, you can use all of it if you want. That is, if you have the money to pay back. This credit card is also tied to your credit history. The more you use your credit card and pay back, the higher your credit history increases. The more you use your credit card and don't pay back, your credit history goes down. So what I advise people is that, please get a credit card. I understand where people come and tell you, oh no, I don't want a credit card. But if you don't get a credit card, how do you build your credit history? Because down here, you have to build your credit history. However, you need to be very careful, extremely careful on how to use that credit card. You can't just be giving like 5,000 credit limits and you're going on a spending spree, buying this and that, and the time to pay, you don't have the 5,000 to pay back, because you have to pay back. And if you do not pay back, it affects your credit score. There is nothing, if you have a bad credit score, there is nothing you want to buy, like you want to purchase, that they would give to you. Because if you cannot pay back the little ones that has been given to you, then how would they trust that you will pay back the bigger ones, like maybe mortgage and all that, like to buy a home and all that, or to buy a car? No one will give you that, because they will ask for your credit history. There are some jobs that also ask for your credit history to be sure that you're a responsible person. So please, once you come, spend responsibly. I'm not saying that do not lavish your money. If you have the money to pay back, of course you can spend as you like, but do not fall into that temptation whereby you come and you're spending everything on your credit card and you cannot pay back. I tell you for a fact that there's so many people here that have stayed here for more than 10 years that have a bad credit score. And that's because they use their credit card. In short, they even got different credit cards from different banks, because you can actually do that. You don't have to just have one credit card. They get different credit cards from different banks and use all of them, and they cannot pay back. So that would mess up your credit score. So here you may want to ask me, how do I even understand the credit score? How do I know that I am in a good place? There's a way you can check your credit score through your bank accounts. You can also use Borrow Well, use Equifax too. There are different applications you can use to check if you're in a good standing, like if your credit score is either below average or is good or excellent. However, it ranges between 300 to 900. You can't go below 300. But if you have a score above 720 to 900, then you're in a good place. Like, once you go out there and you want to get something, you want to get a phone, you want to get mortgage, you want to get, you want to buy a car, then of course you have a very good credit score. So the idea is, please do not go below, you can't even go below 300. Anything 300 to 659 is considered as low. 300 to 659. How can you build your credit score? Through, normal things that you buy. For example, you go for groceries, you put all that money, use your credit card when you go for groceries. You want to buy your phone, you want to pay for your phone bill, you want to pay for your internet, put it on your credit card. It will help you build your credit score. when it's time for you to now, getting a mortgage or buying a car, they would ask for your credit score. They would even run your credit score. They would just ask you for your name and all that. They would run the credit score to be sure that, you have been paying according to how you are spending. And when they see that you do well, they would give you whatever. But if you're just using your debit card, what are you building? Nothing. You understand? There's nothing you're building. You're just spending your money. And it's the same thing. So when you come and you say, no, you don't want credit card, I won't blame anyone because I also had that mentality. But it's the same thing. You have 500 in your debit card. Use your credit card, spend the 500. At the time for you to pay, you pay the 500. That is just the same thing. You're owing, but you have the money to pay back. The only time where it is a problem is when you are owing and you don't have the money to pay back. That now becomes a problem. Please, our new immigrants like me, please just come and get the credit card and tap, 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 tap. Anywhere you go, tap. That tapping is sweet, but be careful. See, when you see that, sometimes I see my statements for the month. Oh my God, I'm like, what, how, what did I do? I now have to go and start checking, my statements to actually know what I spent that resulted to that money. You understand? So once you're tapping, be tapping and remembering that you have to pay at the end of the month. And be tapping and remembering that, oh, how much do I have? And that brings me to, everyone having a budget for the month. It's easier said than done, because even me, sometimes my bank will tell me you've gone above the budget you placed for the month, which it happens because things changes. The amount for groceries is not the same as it used to be. So many things are changing right now. But just try and cut your coat according to your cloth. Live within your means and not above your means. I don't know if you get me. So please, that is just it for your bank accounts, your credit card, and your credit history. I mean, there are also some stores that will offer you credit card, like Walmart, like Costco. I have Costco credit card. I have Costco membership, and that membership comes with a CIBC credit card. So if you go to Costco, for example, Costco is like a wholesale store. If you go to Costco, for example, to buy stuff, you either use the CIBC MasterCard or you use your debit card. They do not accept any other credit card. This Costco MasterCard also comes with its own benefits. Then I think I skipped mentioning that if you have your money in your savings accounts, especially some high savings account, that's why I would say check all the packages. Ask questions. You understand? You're a newcomer, you need to ask a lot of questions. No question is considered as being stupid, or you don't know what you're saying. You need to understand the system. So ask questions. There's some banks that will give you high savings that once you have money in that savings account, you get interest. Like, they give you interest every month. But once you have your money in your checkings account, there's no interest in it. So that's why for me, I personally just leave all my money in my high savings account and just move money into my checkings account when I need to. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of this video. If you are already a subscriber, I thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback. If you're new to this channel and you want to join this community that I'm trying to build, please click the subscribe button, share this video, and also click the notification bell so it notifies you whenever I drop a video. And please don't forget to like the video. So next week, where we're going to be talking about how to get your SIM cards and how to set you up on a phone plan. Thank you so much. Love you all. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, so a little recap on our last video where we spoke about how to get your driver's license. Please, if you missed that video, kindly click the link up there. For today's video, we're going to be talking about health card. If this sounds like something you're interested in, please stick around with me and I'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. What is a health card? A health card is a government issued identification document. Once you get that card, that's the OHIP card, which means Ontario Health Insurance Plan. So for those who plan to live in Ontario, you have access to free healthcare through the OHIP program. So with that card, which will be given to you at Service Ontario, you can access free healthcare. So what are the documents that you would need to take with you to Service Ontario to get your health card? You need your proof of identity and also your proof of residence. Those two documents are the documents that you need to take with you to Service Ontario to get your health card. For you to show proof of residence, there are three documents that are acceptable. The first one is your lease documents. That's where you stay. If you come to Canada and you get an apartment, you would sign a lease. That lease document showing your name and your address is acceptable. The second one is your driver's license, because of course, when you go for your test and they send you your original driver's license, they send it to your mailbox, and it has your name and your address in it. While the third one is your bank statement. For people that stay with family members or friends, at least for the first few months, all you need to do to get that your health card immediately is go to the bank and tell them that you need your statement for that month. That's after opening your account, of course. You tell them that you need your statement for that month to be sent to you via mail, not electronically. That's not into your email box. Once you get that letter, you take that letter, you take your proof of identity and go to Service Ontario to get your health card. But of course, if you come and you get an apartment, you can use your lease. That's the home lease documents that the landlord gives to you. You take it to Service Ontario and you get your health card. Yeah, so for me, I really didn't know about all the steps, and I had to wait a couple of months before I got my health card. If also you don't have the lease at that time and your statement is not ready, you can also go for your drive test. That's your G1 test. Once you write your G1 test, you can use that document to apply for your health card. From there, in short, from the moment you get your temporary health card, you can start accessing healthcare. Please note, like, you can't pay for drugs with that insurance. That's with the health card. However, for children that get prescription drugs from your family doctor, you can use that health card to pay for it, because there's so many cases where I even get prescriptions myself and they tell me it's not covered by OHIP. But for children, almost all prescriptions are covered by OHIP. So it doesn't mean that once you get the card, oh no, you can you can buy this drug or you can buy that drug. It has to be prescribed by your family doctor and it has to be covered by OHIP. I remember when I came, I needed healthcare, like, urgently. You understand? And I didn't know that I needed a family doctor. Where I come from, you can just walk into the clinic and you can access healthcare anytime, anywhere, so far you have your money to pay. I went to the emergency, like the hospital, the big hospital that is close to me. I went to the hospital and like, okay, I need to see a doctor, and they're like, okay, do you have a family doctor? It was actually an emergency center. So over here, I got to know that there are emergency hospitals and there are walk-in clinics. So those walk-in clinics, you can just walk in. Some of them will ask you to book appointments before you come, while some you can just walk in and see the doctor. But you have to have your private insurance card or you have your OHIP card. But in this case, I only had my OHIP card. So I just walked in emergency and I was like, oh, I needed to see a doctor. And the lady was like, okay, do you have a family doctor? Is this an emergency? I was like, no, I just relocated and I want to see a doctor. And she went on telling me that I needed to see a family doctor that would refer me to a gynecologist. I'm like, I don't understand. I can't just walk into the hospital and get a gynecologist. Like, it's like normal thing to do. And she said, no, I need to see a family doctor. I need to register with a family doctor. That every family in Canada must have a family doctor. That family doctor would now refer you to other specialists that you need to see. Like, for example, maybe you need to see a gynecologist. That family doctor will be the one to refer you. You can't just walk in anywhere to do whatever you want to do. I'm like, okay. So I think this is an emergency now. They took me to the emergency ward and, they asked me some couple of questions. They checked everything for me and they're like, oh, do you have a gynecologist? And I said, no, I don't right now. Do you have a family doctor? I'm like, no. And luckily for me, there was a gynecologist around, which, was from my country. The lady attending to me just asked him, Hello, mister. Are you willing to take this person? She's been here, just narrated my story to him. And I was like, yeah, it's fine that I should call his office. And that was it. I called his office and, he accepted to take me on. When I got to his office, I started to understand better. The gynecologist will see you, but if there's an emergency, you have to still go to the emergency clinic. That is the hospital. That is what they call the hospital here. So you either go to the hospital or you call 911. Let's say you're home and you want to give birth. You either drive yourself to the hospital or you call 911 for them to pick you and take you to the hospital. So after I gave birth and they told me I needed a pediatrician, I was like, what is happening? Is it not just one doctor that will look at that and look at this? He said no, that they would need to refer me to a pediatrician. I was like, I do not have one at the moment. So the hospital was kind enough to give me a list of pediatricians that were accepting children at that time. It was a long process. I called through the list and one was open to accept me. And that person was actually a family doctor. And that was how I had a family doctor. So once you come in, I just advise that please just start the process immediately. Even if you don't need a family doctor now, go to walking clinics, start calling friends and families that already have family doctors here. Call them if they have space, because every here you need to have a slot ready for one person. If there's no slot, it's closed. They can't go more than that. You understand? So talk to family and friends even before you land. Please, before you leave your country, make sure that you do the necessary things. The necessary things, like if you know that you need to see a dentist, go and see a dentist. That will last you a while before you come. If you know you need to see an optician, see an optician before you come. All these things are not covered by OHIP. They will ask you for money. Once you're coming, just ask them for your record. Whatever hospital you have been going to, tell them to give you that record for yourself, for your children, for your whole family. There was a time I had to reach out to them to ask if my daughter took a vaccine that was written on her card, but the name of the vaccine was not written. All those records are very useful and important. If you're pregnant or you're coming, make sure all the scans that you've done, all the tests, because they will ask. They will ask for the vaccinations you've taken. In short of recent, I knew that I already taking tetanus injection when I was pregnant before I got here. And it was not in their record, of course. And they wanted to give me tetanus injection again. I'm like, no, I've taken it. Like, but we don't have record of it. So I had to still go back, call them, and like, please, can I get an email stating that, I'd already taken this shot? And when I did, they accepted it. So yeah, that's it about the health card. For me, I was lucky. I saw someone that took me on in the hospital, but I've had so many cases of people that had to pay from their pockets because their health card wasn't ready and because they didn't have the documents that were needed. Yeah, so just a recap of what we've spoken about today. Where you need to get your health card. You need to get your health card at Service Ontario. Your documents you need for your health card is proof of residence and proof of identity. The proof of residence can be your home lease, your driver's license, or your bank statement. That is for Ontario. Spoken about the difference between emergency hospitals, the family doctors, and the walking clinics. So spoke about drugs. There are some drugs, there are some tests, there are some treatments that are not covered by your health card here in Ontario. So once you get there, you have to tell them what you want to do and they will tell you if it is covered or not. For us adults, please, and just do all those things that I've told you to do. Make sure that you see your optician, make sure that you get your prescriptions, and you don't have to come here and do the test again. Make sure that you get your teeth checked and you visit your dentist if you're that kind of person, and you just want to see your dentist. Make sure you do all that where you're coming from, before you land here, because the money is money and it's not joke, man. Once you hear the amount, you just keep your teeth, let it rest. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video. Till next week, where we'll be talking about when and how to open your Canadian bank account. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Till next week. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited today because I just got my G license. Like, seriously, do you know what it takes for you to get a G license? Oh, the process is just something else. So a little recap on our last video where we spoke about how to get your SIN registration. If you missed that video, please kindly click the link up there. Today, we're going to be talking about driver's license, how to get your driver's license, how it works here, and all that. If this sounds like something you'll be interested in, please stick around with me and I'll be right back. Yeah, so driver's license, how does it work here in Canada? Where I come from, I didn't go through all this process just to get a driver's license. Before I got here, I called my friends that were here and they told me all the steps I needed to take before I could become a fully licensed driver here in Canada. And they also advised me on things I also needed to do before coming to Canada, which I'm going to share that same advice with you so you don't run into the problems other people do. I would use Nigeria for an example. If you're coming from Nigeria, you understand, and before you book your ticket, once you get that email to submit your passport, that's the passport request email, please go and get a driver's extract. So some people don't know what this driver's extract is about. It's just about like a history of how long you've been driving and all that. So please, if you are coming to Canada and you have intentions to start driving, do get a driver's extract and also bring your original driver's license. Once you get here, they just, swipe it on something and they tell you it's fake. I know you're already here. How do you want to start the process? So please always verify. Go to a road safety office. Like, use your legs, enter the office yourself. Do not wait and say, oh, this person is going to do it for me, or stay in your house and be calling. Do not trust anybody. Go in yourself and get your driver's license and also request for a driver's extract. When you get to Canada, that driver's extract would only last 6 months. So once you get to Canada, just make sure you start your drive test. So that 6 months shouldn't expire, because mine actually expired. I didn't know that it was valid for 6 months. I took it like a day after expiry and they told me it had expired. So I had to wait a year before, getting my license. What do you do to get a driver's license here? There are like 3 stages in Canada before you can fully, get a driver's license. First stage is the G1. The second is the G2 and the third is G. Me, I call it full G because that's like the end. That makes you a fully licensed driver. You understand, if that makes any sense? So about the G1, once you come to Canada as a permanent resident, you take your international passports, because that's means of identification. That's if you've gotten your permanent resident card. You take your passport and your COPR to the test center. Different cities in Canada, Brampton, Oakville, Mississauga, they all have their test centers. Just look for drive test center close to you. You book for your G1 and go to the test center. So now I'm going to explain, the steps and what it requires of you. The G1 is a written test, like an exam. You go to the test center, you present these things I've told you, your passport, your COPR, and you also pay for the G1 exam. If you have your driver's extract, you also bring that along. So you're bringing 4 things. Your passport, your COPR is, stapled to your passport anyways. Your driver's license and your driver's extract. To give them all the documents, the driver's extract you have given them enable you skip the G2 and go to the full G. So what I'm trying to say here is the G1 is compulsory for everybody. Once you come in as a new driver here in Canada, you have to do the G1. That is compulsory. However, for the G2, for you to skip the G2, you have to provide an extract. So what happens in the G2? G2 is a road test, but you don't go to the highway. So it's just around the neighborhood. So for the G1, it's a test. You understand? You go there, you provide these documents that I've just asked you to do. You pay the amount. They fix you up, with a system, and you answer 40 questions. 20 questions out of the 40 questions are on road signs, while the other 20 are on road rules. That's the G1 exam. So you can also get materials online. There are past questions online that could guide you to getting a good score. If you fail, you have to redo the exam again. That means you have to go back to the queue. And the queue is not here. You have to go back to the queue. That's why I always advise people, when you want to do your G1 test, go very early. As in when I mean early, be there like 5:30. There's some people that get there like 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. You understand? Because the queue is much. You get. And just try not to fail. The questions are really not difficult. If you practice just past questions again, you would not fail them, definitely. If you have experience, I know that the experience driving in my own country and the experience here, you understand, is different. But you have to unlearn and relearn. Once you get that done, you pass the exam, they will issue you your G1 license. Remember what I said the other time? If you have your driver's extract, you can skip the G2 and go to the full G. Now, what happens in the G2, like I said, there's some people that come to Canada and they're not ready to buy a car. However, they need that driver's license because it can also be used as a means of identification, especially when you need to get your health card, which we're going to be talking about next time. So once you come and you don't have a car yet, you can actually rent a car. For people that have cars, you can take your car to the test center and do your driver's test. G test means that they take you to the highway. You go to the highway, they tell you to turn left, turn right. The highway speed is 100 kilometers per hour. You must accelerate to 100. If not, they will fail you. You get. I know on that speed, they'll also tell you go left when it's safe to do so, go right when it's safe to do so, and all that. You have to concentrate and listen. Once they say anything and you do not hear what they have said, you understand, you can ask questions. So, I didn't hear you. What did you just say? Don't be shy, but you have to concentrate and get the test done. Once you're done with the test, you come into the test center. They congratulate you for a successful test. Yeah, so one tip, there are some instructors in Canada, like in the city where you live in, that could assist you, put you through the rules and all that, take you around the car. They will even give you their car. You understand? They'll sit beside you. You can drive the car, make mistakes, they correct the mistake, teach you how to park, teach you how to do a lot of things. But it's not free. Like, you have to pay for it. And the last time I did mine was $40 per hour. You are paying for their services per hour. You're also paying, especially if you don't have a car to take you to your drive center that day, you also pay for them to drive you there, use their car, and bring you back. And there were some questions on my Instagram one time asking, why do you really need to get the full driver's license? Because the G2 and the G doesn't even have, there's not much difference. You can go on the highway. No, there's not much difference between the G2 and the G. So why do I need to get the G license? Because of insurance. You can't compare the insurance that people pay in Brampton to people that stay in Oakville, people that stay, outside Brampton. But if you have your full G license, your insurance reduces a little. It might not reduce so much, but maybe like $100 or $50 is taken out. If you're in Brampton as a new driver, there's no how you wouldn't pay more than $500 per month. Insurance is paid per month. Once you get your G1, you are not even allowed to buy. You can't even drive a car with your G1, because with your G1, you can't go to the highway. If you're driving, you need a fully licensed G beside you to drive. You understand? So you can't even buy a car with your G1. Nobody's going to sell you a car with a G1. But if you have your G2, you can drive alone. You have your G, you can also drive alone. As you progress into getting your G, your insurance would also reduce. And that's, one of the reasons why I advise people to just get their extract, pay a driving instructor to teach you all these things before you go for your G. Because some people make that mistake. They just come with their driver's extract. They believe, they know all these things. I used to drive way back. You do the G1, you skip the G2 and go to the G, and they end up failing. I know how expensive it can get, because you're paying them per hour and you have to do like maybe 7 to 8 classes. If they're not confident enough that you pass the exam, please try to get an original driver's license. If you're coming from Nigeria, make sure you go to the road safety office to get the original driver's license. Don't send anyone. Go yourself and get it done. Also, get an original driver's extract. But if you know that you're not going to be using that driver's extract before it expires, remember I said you just have 6 months for it to expire, don't bother getting it from Nigeria then, if you're sure that you're not going to be needing it here, so you don't waste that money. You get. So, but if you know that within 6 months you're going to use it, then please get your driver's extract alongside your driver's license. So I'm just going to do a little rundown of we know what we already said about driving test stages, the G1, the G2, and the 4G. The G1 is an exam. You go into the drive test center, you pay for the amount, they give you a system, and you write the exam. While the G2 is a road test, like if you have to be physically present with an examiner beside you. That examiner is there to check how your test is going, if you follow the rules, if you know the signs, the stop signs, all the signs that you would have learned in your G1 when you wrote the exams. You now practice that in the G2. Then the 4G is also the same thing, but you are going to the highway, and you also have an examiner beside you that will watch how your speed is, how you maintain the speed. There's so many things surrounding the G also, but you have an examiner with you that will test you, and if the examiner is satisfied that you have done well and you passed all that is required of you, they'll give you a temporary license. After some weeks, you get your permanent driver's license. So I did a little video when I got to this test center today. I chose Oakville. That's where I did my G test. Once you drive in, there are different allocations there with numbers. So you just park there. You get your driver's license. If you want to ride the G2, you take your G1 driver's license with you. If you want to ride the G, you take your G2 driver's license with you. You also need to know your plate number, you understand, and also the reference number that was given to you when you booked for your test online. Those three things you need, and the number of the place you parked. You have to be there at least 30 minutes before time. Don't be like me. I was late today. I was there like 20 minutes before time, so I had to hurry. I know you need to be calm when you're doing this thing, so you don't start panicking. You get. So try to get there at least 40 minutes before time, because you need to register yourself. You need to register that you're present. Once you go in, you register that in the system. There's this booth that is just inside the office there. You register it, and they give you a slip. That slip, you take it to your car and sit down and wait for the time where the examiner will come. During my time today, the examiner just came and told me, okay, it's going to be my examiner for today, and that she would need to know that my brakes are working, and my signals are working. So she went to the back. She told me to press the brakes, the signals, and she got into the car, and that's how we did it. As you drive, they would watch you. Like, she was watching me all through. I was nervous, but in short, I just told myself there's nothing I can do. It's either I fail or I pass. So I was just going by make sure that your head is turning. That one is another thing. Like, you have to look at the mirror, especially when she tells you once it's safe, or when the examiner tells you once it's safe, go to your left, or once it's safe, go to your right. That is signal to your left or to your right. You have to watch. You have to move your head. It's not the one that you just look, and you would look up, look at the mirror in front of you, look at the mirror beside you, and look behind. You have to do that. If not, they will fail. Your head must be moving. Where there's a stop sign and you need to go through an intersection, you have to look. Your head must be moving. At the same time, you are also watching the speed limit. You must not go above the speed limit that is allocated for that road. If it's 100 on the highway, it has to be 100. You can't go like 110, or you can't even go higher than 100. Maybe a little, but I just advise, just stick. That leg should not shake. Just stick to that limit, and don't go below or go above. If you go below, you're failed. If you go above, you have failed. So just stick to these tips, and you would have a lovely, I feel good right now. I have my stuff with me, and I'm super excited about it. I'm going to get my card very soon, in my mailbox. And yeah, that's it about driver's license. Hey guys, yeah, this is how the drive test center looks. That's the parking lot I was talking about in the video. You just park your car, you choose one, and try to remember the number where you parked your car, because you have to register that once you go in. So yeah, this me, I was trying to get my number get my number sorted. Yeah, and it was just a splendid experience, and I was excited. I passed my exam, and yeah, that's me going inside to get my driver's license. That's the temporary one that I'll be giving. And I got that. I was super excited when I heard I passed. That's me coming out.
I'm so
So
happy.
thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video. Till next week, where we'll be talking about how to get your health card. You know, why you need to get your health card and where to get your health card. Thank you so much and have a beautiful week. Bye.